Mr. Eggplant presents.
Ask them if they do.
Hey guys, Tyler here, and thank you for checking out this video. And I have a very special Mythic Plus run for you guys today. In fact, this is the highest Mythic Plus timed key I've ever done in World of Warcraft, which is a plus 23 times Spires of Ascension. In this video, and the format is going to be all thanks to my viewers over on my Discord, so thank you guys so much. Be sure and join the Discord. There's a link in the description of the video, and I'm going to be kind of pulling the curtain back, so to speak, basically going through this entire key, talking about things I could have done better, things that I did well, and then just like cooldown usage and that sort of thing. So we did a big first poll here at the very beginning of Spires of Ascension, and we'll talk about the affixes here in just a second. And first off, the one problem was you can already see we have Vi out and we meant to get So unfortunately, we're trying to get here, that way we get that extra healing, so I'm going to die here in just a second because of it. I still had some of my cooldowns I could have used, but they were most likely going to be wasted anyway. But what we did was we CC'd the inspired pack that was in the very first pack of the dungeon, and then we pulled both the first and second pack and the Goliath that pats through 2 and 3. But that does give me a chance to go ahead and re-CC this Vanguard here, and then we'll go ahead and finish up this pack. And I am running this key with my new Mythic Plus group, which does include Dead Script, and then Frosty is here as well. Mimi is actually new to the channel. She's healing for us, did a great job. Nice job, Mimi. And then Cheetah obviously is rounding out our group. So you're going to see a lot more of these guys, hopefully even into Season 4, so I'm really excited about that. But we're going to go ahead and finish off Vi here, and then pull the Vanguard, which was inspired, and we're going to take both of these all the way up to the very top, or the third pull in this first section of Spires of Ascension. And there will be 2 inspired packs, so both the Vanguards, who are already trying to basically kill one as quick as possible, because otherwise we can't really CC anything or interrupt anything. And then the other one's going to be the Mender, which is the healer of the group, so we want to make sure and get both of those down ASAP. And then looking at the affixes, so it's going to be Fortified, then Inspiring, Grievous, and then Encrypted for the Season 3 affix. And I will say, this is going to be quite the undertaking. It's going to be over a 38-minute video, so I'm sure I will screw up at a bunch of points, but I've got something to drink just to be safe. So anyway, we went ahead and took down one of the Vanguards, and then we are finishing off the other Mender, which was the other inspired pack. So nothing too crazy, and if you'll notice, we did not lust, and I'm just basically popping cooldowns as much as possible. Now, I would have had another true shot available had we have gotten and I've probably lived, and we'd probably already be done with this pull by now. But that's just something, and if anything, it's kind of on me. The amazing amount of burst that Necrolord has I can be targeting the correct relic, and I'll still do more damage to another relic. It's so dumb. I have an add-on or a WeakAuras that I will put in the WeakAuras collection that I have on my Discord. If you guys would like, it's like a targeting macro for like Vi, for Woe, and then also for as we're going to go ahead and get over to the second little area just before the first boss. And there is one inspired pack, which is all the way over here to the right side, which is a Mender as well. Give me an opportunity to go ahead and Fleshcraft, and we're going to CC the Mender, and then be sure to get here, and then after we're going to interrupt the Goliath and just keep them away from that inspired pack. So there we go. We have and then I am just ripping because I know I have right now, and it'll take us a bit to kill this pack, so I'll get some time back for that. Then we have to kill the Mender, because obviously you don't want to bring that into a boss or into something that we wouldn't be able to interrupt. And then I will be getting on the boss as well. So in my head, I'm like, okay, I can net myself some time by go ahead and ripping the true shot fairly early here. So the Goliath is still up. We are basically just cleaving off of it. That was kind of my goal for this particular pull. And then just literally using cooldowns as much as possible. And then also, obviously, I'm a Necrolord Marksman Hunter in this video, and I'm doing my normal build. So my Soulbind is with Bonesmith Heirmir, and I'm running the same old Conduits. All that information will be found down below. And then here we about made a mistake, but both Cheetah and Dead Script did a great job here of making sure that we move the Goliath. That way, because the Mender, I should say, is going to stop the Goliath from being able to be interrupted. But luckily, they both had the wherewithal to be like, oh, nope, gotta move them. And we basically saved ourselves a wipe, because that would have definitely wiped us on a 23. particularly a Fortified week. That Goliath, man, he chunks. All right, so we're going to go ahead and finish the Mender here, and then we're going to go ahead and go up to the boss, and then, of course, we are going to get on this. All right, so we're up to the first boss, and I am terrible at this boss. I will be completely honest with you. I am not the greatest when it comes to the first boss here in Spires of Ascension. And in fact, the first two bosses, I need to do a lot better job of damaging and learning how to do them properly. You know, just in time for it to not matter. But I did pull aggro here, and then I made the mistake of not waiting just a second to let the aggro reset. So that means is going to hit me just a few more times, and we did lose Mimi here. And then also on this pull, as I'm going to go ahead and use my heal, and then I probably should have went ahead and used my Fleshcraft there just to get the shield rolling. But here comes the lust, since is about down, and then we will go ahead and just pump as much damage in as possible. So I'm helping because they called for to be killed, so I wanted to make sure and just get it down as quick as possible. And then on this fight, the key, there's like 6-second intervals, which are very key, where you want to use volley, as you can see here, and you want to use your death chakram, so you'll hit both targets while they're right next to each other. Even if it's for only a couple of seconds, that's a large amount of damage that we can get off, since they do share health in a quick succession. So here, my positioning in this fight, we have, I think Teach was playing, he's playing Ellie in this. So we have all 3 range, which means we can really cheese the spear, and that's what I'm kind of doing right now. I'm wanting to get the spear out and away from the tank as much as possible. Normally, I'm running with at least 1 melee, and when I'm doing stuff with Drexit, I usually have 2 melee, so I really try to prioritize making sure that I'm baiting the spear away as much as possible. So here, the boss came back down, and then we are just going to do some more cleave damage, and I'm just trying to fish for those automatic trick shot procs. So that's what I'm doing right now. And if you do want that WeakAuras, it does help your damage significantly. It's a huge increase. That is also in that WeakAuras list that is freely downloadable on my Discord. And all of my my trick shots, all of my turtle WeakAuras just shows the cooldowns and stuff on the, as you see there with my double tap. All those are found there as well. So we're almost done with this boss. It was probably not the best way to go about using my cooldowns, but on the bright side, we are going to go left right after this boss, which means it's okay to have True Shot on cooldown, because we're probably not going to need it, because we're going to do a big pull afterwards. Actually, I don't remember off the top of my head if I save it or not. I might have screwed up. We'll have to wait and see. So what my group does is we go over here to the left, and we all hide in this little nook here. That way, all of the spear chuckers will pretty much come right to us, the skirmishers. So I'm going to go ahead and use all my AoE, and be sure to, of course, use your misdirect on cooldown, and then we can just go to town on these guys. So I'm just using all of my cooldowns as much as possible. That's the beauty about Necrolord Marksman Hunters, particularly on these Fortified weeks, is that we have one of the shortest cooldowns for, I think we're the second shortest out of all 4 of the Covenants, which means we can just rip that thing as much as possible. And thanks to that, the explosive shot, the 2 dots from the explosive shot that my legendary gives, the Unity, it actually does almost 10% of my entire damage for these runs. So it's really, really strong, and particularly when fights like this where things stay up longer, and you do really benefit from it. Because it's not necessarily all cheese pad damage, because as you saw on that first boss, I think we did pretty well on the boss too. Maybe we kind of fall off a little bit on tyrannical weeks, but I think that unless you're doing 25, 26, 27, 30s, you'll probably be doing just fine with this Necrolord build. So alright, so we have all of our cooldowns, which is what I wanted to do, because he's going to do a big pull here. So I'm going to put out the flare and misdirect. So here comes the stealth claws. I will go ahead and send those his way. He'll go and find the other stealth claws on the other side, and then we just go to town. So I make sure to use all of my cooldowns here, and I had them all up, and that was kind of my goal when I was thinking about that last pull. So I did it right. I did not actually waste my True Shot on that pack like I probably could have. And if you looked at our damage, it's really beneficial for us to have all our cooldowns up for this particular pack. So there goes my binding shot, because I don't remember if he called for it or not, but this is a fortified week. He can really front load, particularly as a paladin. He can front load all of his defensives, knowing that he's going to get beat up, as he's going to go ahead and run and grab the Dark Praetor over there. And then I'll throw my tar trap down, and then now I'm just pumping as much damage as possible. So I'm trying to get as many of the trick-shotted aim shots as possible. And the key on these Praetors, which we try to do a better job of, I know I do it all the time. I stand back, since I have such a long range, like I'll be back where that tar trap was, which is all fine and dandy for damage, but whenever the Dark Praetor does his basically, it will go to somebody, and if it's me, it goes all the way back there. And if we have 2 or 3 melee, including your tank, now they're way over there and not over here where you should be for the angel. And just little things like that can be the difference between timing a key and not. In fact, we make the timer on this key by 2 seconds. So had we have not baited one of those, or baited it far away, like if I had screwed up, we don't time this key. It's crazy. I mean, this wasn't the cleanest run, but just little things like that can really matter. And it's min-maxing, but at the same time, it's cost effective, if you will, for your time. So alright, so I have most of my cooldowns here. Luckily for me, as a Necrolord Marksman Hunter, I don't have too many cooldowns that I need to watch. So the only one would be True Shot. So I don't have it up, but it's going to come up here now. And we did get on this pack. I actually attacked the right relic for a change. And then this is one of those Praetor situations again. So we want to make sure that we are on the opposite side towards where we're going, not where we've been. So that's a big deal if you want to get a few extra seconds, which there are at least 3 or 4 Praetors in here, which means that's 15 seconds that you could have saved. All right, so down goes this. We'll misdirect, and then we have 2 Goliaths here, and it's very important that you do not pull the divers over there. If they get pulled, this will kill you. This is a wiper pull. So we just called out which Goliath, who is getting first interrupt, who is getting second interrupt, since there are 2 fists that need to be interrupt on each one before they go into their shield. So there's the shield, so we're going to worry about recharging or interrupting the recharge Anima shield by doing damage to it. And now I'm just pumping damage. And I saved my True Shot because I knew this was going to be a beefy pull, and I've used my counter shot, and so now we're just kind of trying to get them down as quick as possible. And in fact, I probably should have went ahead and been on the circle here, since it's almost dead, because you just want them to be dead. You want one of them to die as soon as possible. So he's going to go ahead and shield. They're both going to shield. So that could have been something that I think my damage alone, on top of everybody else's damage on the circle ad, would have been enough to pop it, so we wouldn't have had to worry about it. That's just little things that you're going to hear from me a lot, because I'm really nitpicky when I watch myself play. So we're going to go ahead, and we've got the Goliath here, and then we have, I believe there's an Inspired in this pack. I think there is. Yeah, there is. So we're on the Inspired there. So I'm just going to try to cleave off of the Inspired and do as much damage as possible, because these have the Venom dot that will just absolutely shred your tank. So it's very important that you get them down as quick as possible. And then also, if you guys want to know what my stat line is, or any other of that pertinent information, like 9.2 Marksman Hunter guides, I know I say it in every one of my videos, but those will always be found in the description of my videos. I really do. Hey, actually, I baited it correctly that time, is what I was talking about. So I'm learning things, even though I've been playing this game far too long. Anyway, if I always try to give you guys the most pertinent information as possible for my builds. Even if I'm not the best marksman out there, I will never say that I know everything, but I really do my best to make builds that the average player can pick up and do really well and excel. And I really feel like we've really pushed ourselves, myself at least, but I have friends in the Discord that are loyal viewers, that have been viewers for 5 years, that are enjoying Marksman again because of some of these new builds that are a little bit easier to pick up and play. So I really hope you guys do like this. So we're going to go ahead and get here, and then this is another one of those big pulls. If we're going to spear, we don't actually spear up above, but you can pull this into the pack above on top of the stairs, and then you spear it all, and then just go to town and do all the damage. But we did not do that. and I don't think we actually needed it, so that was a good call by the group. So is here, and I went ahead and I popped my cooldowns because I know I have and my goal for this pull is to use my true shot so it'll be up for the next big pull, which will be just before the second boss. So I'm already thinking ahead. I'm like, okay, if I use it now with it will be up or it won't be up. So we have an inspired pack here, but we just have one skirmisher left, so I'll make sure and misdirect. Obviously very important to misdirect onto your tank as much as possible. Use that utility. And then I should have been actually looking for the inspired mob here. I am actually not attacking the inspired mob, so I am doing my group a disservice right now. So little things like that I get to learn, like in the moment I wasn't even thinking about that. So down goes the first set of divers. Now we have the Goliath here. So now we want to make sure that the inspired add is not next to the Goliath, and obviously it's dead now. So now we can freely interrupt the Goliath. And so I was the second interrupt there, but it looks like we doubled up, but it's okay because there's not going to be another one for just a little bit here. And if anything, I could have put that interrupt on one of the Venoms instead, or the Strife there. That Strife is going to hurt. But other than that, it wasn't the end of the world. So that's interrupted, and it's always nice to have a paladin tank. That way they can help you with all the extra interrupts that you might have missed. So there's another Dark Praetor here. I did not realize there were so many in this dungeon. Like, when you're in the moment, I don't even think about it, but yeah, there's quite a few of them in Spires of Ascension. So if anything, what our group should have done, which actually worked just fine there, was that it picked the right person, so it was going where we're headed, not where we've been. So if I can drill one thing into your head, it would be that. And that, if anything, I'm talking to myself, just, through the webcam. Anyway, so the Goliath is going to go down here, and now one of the hardest hitting packs and one of the most dangerous for melee is going to be, well, and range too, if you're like a mid-range, would be the squad leader. So the squad leader makes sure that it takes everybody around it takes less damage, so it's very, very important that you cleave off of the squad leader. And then we have, again, one Dark Praetor here, so you want to make sure not get hit by the Strife there, or the Crash, I should say. There's so many different abilities I'm trying to remember in my head right now. But I want to make sure that I'm just cleaving off of the squad leader, because it has absorbent amounts of health right now, and it's obviously making the Praetor take less damage. But our damage for this entire run was pretty good. I don't remember what it was off the top of my head. Maybe 16, 7... maybe 17k, probably more like 16.5, just because this is a long dungeon. It really is. There's a lot of gaps, and there's a lot of like downtime, and I don't remember if we wiped. I don't think we did. Maybe we did. I don't remember. I guess we'll find out here in a few minutes, huh? Because if we wipe, I guarantee you I know where it would be. It'd be either on the second boss or in between bosses 2 and 3, because it can give you kind of some stupid shenanigans when it comes to the Woskep. So all right, so we got call it a proto-drake for some reason, the Praetor down, and then we are going to head to the big pull. So this is what I said. I want to make sure and have True Shot up for this pull. This is very, very important, because this is a very deadly pull. So we are going to go ahead and make sure I misdirect on the tank. What I should have done was already had my shield up for my Necrolord shield, but I'm going to go ahead and just make sure I'm cleaving off of the squad leader, and we are doing all sorts of damage right now. I don't think I burst 100 in this pull. A lot of times I will burst over 100 on this pull, but I think I screwed up a bit and made sure there's that cone ability that the squad leader does. I had no idea which way it was facing. I'm glad it wasn't facing towards me, because it would have absolutely toasted me. But this is where having the Fleshcraft shield would have been really important. Just less damage on me. I'm not taking a ton of damage, but it's always important to use that as much as possible, because I'm going to gain so much time back on its cooldown because of all the dead bodies that are around. So down goes the squad leader, and like I said, I'm just using all my cooldowns. The pull is almost dead though, so I'm not going to use volley, since it's not really worth it, and I'm not going to use my Death Chakram, just because I'd rather use those on the boss and get full value out of them instead of maybe hitting 1 or 2 targets. So down goes the Praetor. It's the last one of the group. Go figure. It freaking always is, because that thing moves around like nobody's business.
There's nothing you can do.
And now we are heading up to the second boss. So I'm going to go ahead and fleshcraft here, so I did that right. And we'll pull the boss, and then I believe we're wanting to get So get hopefully we get yes we did, cool. And so this is one of my least favorite bosses. In fact, it might be my most, I don't want to say hated, like I don't hate any bosses in this game. I don't like this boss, so it's not my cup of tea. I just, for whatever reason, but I try to stand close to the healer, because I don't remember when it does its that ability. I don't remember if it picks the farthest person or not, but so I always try to get in the habit of standing near the healer, or standing, you know, somewhere where it has the opportunity to give me the dot, since I can deal with it a little bit more. And I've got some more externals in my, I have externals from the healer, but I also have some built into my kit now, defensives, thanks to my conduits. So I made sure that for one of those, Hunter's Mark was on the enemy. That way that I'm not going to be taking as much damage, even though I don't know if the dot actually counts for that or not. But what I like to do is stand away from that black, stupid, like, geyser of death over there. And what I do is I end up, so I can just strafe back and forth. So I'm going to go ahead and try to not get hit. And by not get hit, I mean walk into it. So yes, I forgot, I did die here. So hey guys, thanks for checking out the video. That's not what to do. Don't do that. Don't be me. So anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and lay here dead, and you guys can leave me a comment about how I was a dummy and I walked into that, because I feel like I was a dummy. So I'm going to wait on a res here, and I think they're going to call to res me here in just 1 second. Had I just not walked into it, I don't know what the deal was. Normally I don't have that big of an issue, but I'm looking for where Mimi is here, and so I know she's in the middle, so I know I should be safe. So then I will go ahead and just use the rest of my cooldowns here as much as possible, disengage back to get a little bit of room in between me and the little blips there. It looks like a couple more people got tagged. This boss is unforgiving on Tyrannical. This boss is so difficult on Tyrannical. But the group, I think, overall did a really nice job. Want to make sure and keep dodging the black death geyser pool ball things. Don't get hit by them. Don't get hit me. Don't get hit. So, but we're almost down. We didn't wipe on the boss, as a wipe would have obviously ended our run. But down goes the second boss, and if you stand right here and you jump, you can click it. This is like the one time I didn't click it. Unfortunately, I just missed, so I was a little bit off, if you will. See, so if you jump up there in the middle and you click the angel as they go through, you don't have to stop and wait. And then, as you can see, they're 4 or 5 seconds ahead of me. When you get up to keys like this, even if you're pumping group, like our group damage was really great, the little things can add up to like a minute of time. And when you have the last boss, the Devos boss is just so long, even on Fortified week. So I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm apparently checking my guild roster for some reason. I don't know why. I'm sure I had something in my head at one point. Probably looking to do some rated battlegrounds with Tenur. But I'm going to go ahead and use my fleshcraft here, and then we had our lone Kyrian go over and grab the spear that we'll use just before the final boss. So here we want to make sure that we are killing Woe. If you don't Woe skip here, I don't have to tell you, you have to use invis pots or something, but Woe makes this really nice. So we're going to make sure and just keep Woe interrupted and try to kill it just as the Forsworn is dying, or very close to, because we are going to be skipping all the way to the third boss. So down goes, hopefully, here soon at least, down goes this Forsworn. Unfortunately for us, our cleave is now built in, which I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all that our cleave is built in now, even on 2 targets. But it does tend to pose a problem if you are trying to keep one of these buffs up, like or Woe, for example. What comes to mind would be one of the first pulls in Mists of Tyrna Scythe, where you try to keep Woe up as much as possible to do the big skip almost all the way up to the first boss. Yeah, I tend to kill that a lot. Alright, so we're going to jump up here just to be extra safe. We're going to shoot around here, and if you have a pet out or if you have a brawny boy, please click those off, dismiss those pets just to be safe, because you never know. So we're going to go ahead and zoom through here. I'm going to get tagged by one of the usurpers. But unfortunately, I do have to use my turtle, but that's not the end of the world. Even though I was invis, I was still in combat, so then they could see me, and they just, you know, attack somebody. So on weeks like this current week, where you have the little ghosty boys, the spiteful ads, this pull can be kind of annoying. I actually did this exact key at like a 21, and those boys just absolutely annihilated us. But I just misdirect here, and then you basically do your best healer in arena imitation to just go around a pillar and then basically stick your head out the last second when you absolutely need it, because those hurls, they hurt. So alright, so we are going right into the third boss here, and we're going to go ahead and grab and so I have designated that I am just going to use my cooldowns on pull on this boss, and then let somebody else hold. So I found that it's just been easier, and in fact, I did this on a tyrannical week, the week after this one, because this is 2 weeks old now, unfortunately, as I take a boot to the face there by accident. So what I've decided to do is I'm just going to start just using my cooldowns right at the beginning, because so much of my damage is front-loaded in that 70%, like the first 30% of the boss's health, that it's still just so important. And I found that on tyrannical in particular, maybe Fortified I could get away with not, but if I'm going to play Necrolord, I need to just pop. I just need to use. So we group them up together, that way the tank can easily soak all of the orbs, and then I just disengage back every time. Just make sure whatever's behind me is nice and safe. So I'm just continuing to use cooldowns as quick as possible, and now here, I timed it out to where my Death Chakram should be just coming up. I will use that, volley, and then I'm just going to get as much damage onto the boss as possible. So we're just going to pop all those aim shots. I stopped using rapid fire until I absolutely needed it for focus, and the boss's health is looking right about 55% after he leaves this little bit of a bonus damage zone. So now we basically just need to kill him again before he does the full thing again. And if he does get through the full duration where he starts sucking in the orbs again, I am the backup. That just means that I disengaged there, and I got stuck on some like invisible steps or something. It was kind of weird. That kind of threw me off. But here I'm just popping. Again, I'm just using all of my cooldowns as much as possible. And also, I am thinking about what I'm going to be popping on upstairs, because we do have just the 3 angels left upstairs. So I want to be able to pop on the first and the third. So that's kind of what I'm doing. So we're at 38% now on the boss, and he's at 25% of his focus bar, energy bar, whatever it is, his bar. There we go. So he's almost done here. So once he gets to 0, each one of his abilities will take a little bit of that energy away, and then after that we will go ahead and have to go into that next phase where he starts taking significantly more damage. But again, I'm just popping all of my cooldowns. This is a very safe boss. I really like this boss. Maybe it's just as easy, I don't know. But I do really like this boss. It's one of my favorites. So the first two, well, the first boss isn't bad. The second boss I don't like. The fourth boss is probably my most hated, just because of how long it takes, even on a Fortified week like this week. Alright, so now we are in our kill shot range. So now I'm just trying to get to pool up as much of my focus as possible, so I can just sit there and just go, you know, aim shot, aim shot, aim shot, aim shot, aim shot as much as possible. So now down he goes, and then I don't remember if I end up soaking or not. I don't think so. I think we just do just fine, because it actually dies, so it doesn't matter. So I would have been the backup, because there was more orbs. I would have been the backup, but we didn't need me, which is just fine by me. So looking at our percentage for enemy forces, I'm at 88% with our group, so we are doing just fine percent-wise. And looking at the timer looks very healthy, but Devos, even on a 23 fort week, Devos has a lot of health. So that's going to be up to something we're going to have to deal with. And in fact, most groups want to allot at least 6 minutes to her, even on a fortified week. So we'll go ahead and slowly but surely fly up here. And then what we do is we go ahead and pull the middle. Then we go, as you're looking at them, we go middle, then left, and then we lust and spear on right. So here, I timed my abilities back downstairs to where I can pop all of my cooldowns here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, just get as much damage as possible. These guys are like the real bosses of this this dungeon, just because of how much damage they do. It's really obscene, really. So here I'm just popping everything, using as much cooldowns as possible, and I do want to be able to pop them again. I don't remember if I do or not. On the final guy, he hurts. Klodos or something like that. Either way, he's the real boss. He's the real boss of this dungeon. Forget Devos. It's all about him. That's why we use all the cooldowns on him. That's probably why Devos takes longer too, if I'm being honest. That most people have already used their cooldowns on that guy there. So the first one is down. We went ahead and we only pull them one at a time. My guild on lower keys will pull both left and middle together. As long as you kill them almost at the same time, it's fine. So this guy here, Astronos, has the spear. So I will try to stand as far away as possible to bait that spear. Unfortunately, it does pick over there, but now, at least for me as a marksman hunter, I can now have plenty of time to see when those 4 bolts will shoot from the spear location. So I'm, again, just using cooldowns just as I see fit, and I am holding on to True Shot, which it's looking very much likely that it will be up for when I need it for this final guy. So that was me knowing my cooldowns and knowing about how long we're going to take to kill some of these things. So that's all experience, honestly. So unfortunately, I have not got the spear on me yet. So I can see where the safe zones are. So I know I should be safe here. I don't know where the black bits are going to come from that spear, but unfortunately Cheetah found out, but I did not. So there we go. I finally got the spear, and what I should have done was I should have went the other way. I should have went away from this, and then I could have just stood there. I'm kind of in a danger zone right now because I was in a danger zone, guys. I should have listened to me. So that's something there that I could have done better. I actually kind of forgot that happened, to be honest. Most of our deaths from this run actually came from this very bit up here at the top. What I should have done was go away from the danger. Stay away. So if nothing else, that means if it picks me for another spear, there's a spear that's far away that people don't have to worry about. So I just talked all that smack that Cheetah just ate the spear, and then I did the same thing, and then he was nice enough to res me. So I guess I'm the idiot here, right? So here we're going to go ahead. We have a little bit of time. We are cutting it really close though right now because we are sub 6 minutes and we still have the ad to kill. But we went ahead and dropped a table, tried to heal up as much as possible, have all the buffs because the real boss is about to begin. So here we went ahead and we popped everything, and luckily since I died, I would have guaranteed to have myself all my cooldowns back for all the time I wasted. But we're just going to spear this. The Kyrian in the group used the spear, so he's taking all this extra damage. What I should have done here was been away from him. That way I could have baited that spear a little bit better. It didn't pick me, and in fact, it actually picked somebody behind me that's just off camera, which is great for our group. So here we absolutely annihilate this dude. Nicely done, guys. That's pretty cool. All right. And now, forces will be complete here in just 1 second. We have officially Devos. We have 4 minutes and 52 seconds to kill Devos, and Devos has an obscene amount of health. So here, we're just going to pump as much damage as quick as possible into her, while making sure that we grab the right relic, which should be So I'm actually surprised I was not targeting there. I should have been. I should have been making sure, because if you need like is very important on this fight. So here we want to make sure and get into the circle there, or the force field, if you will, the dome. And then what I try to do, which doesn't always work, but I kind of did it there, was bait towards the wall. There is kind of a weird interaction with the wall and the wings there, and the feet, and everything that can get in your way, like at the very beginning of this dungeon. But I'm just literally just using all of my abilities, making sure that I'm dodging. There's that pesky wall that's over here. And then make sure you don't line of sight your healer, because your healer could be like right to the left of where the boss is right now, and you could be back there in that alcove, and you could still, you know, not be healed and not have line of sight. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to put the Dispel in a good spot, which we did. And here I will go ahead and grab this one orb, since I was not paying attention where orbs were going, because I'm tunneling at this point. I'm trying to make sure I get as much damage and stay alive as much as possible. Here sometimes I will use Turtle just to make sure I don't get any more dots on me to help the healer. But what I did was I went ahead and used Fleshcraft, since I did not at the very beginning, or at least it wasn't on cooldown. So here, what I should be doing is baiting towards the wall. Luckily, she didn't pick me, but she kind of went the wrong way. This isn't the big deal at all for our group, since we're all ranged. It is a problem if you have melee, though, particularly 2 or 3. I mean, if I'm in the group, you don't have 3. I'm not playing survival. But here, I'm just trying to get the lost confidence out, so when it's dispelled, it drops the poopy out here and not where we're supposed to be, inside the circle, because that's the worst place. You do not want it in the circle. So she's going to get ready to detonate again, so we want to make sure and be in here. What I should have done was used Feign Death there, because every time I use Feign Death, I take a percentage less damage, which I believe in this video it's 11 or 11.8%, something like that. But here we are right at almost 50% health on Devos, and what I just did is a no-no. I turned my back on Devos. Never do that. And so I'm going to go ahead and turtle here, because I'm out here trying to drop the lost confidence in a good spot. Actually baited that as well, and then I took no damage. So that was kind of a nice little, hey, you know, Johnny on the spot, if you will, thing, and I didn't even realize I was doing it. So she'll do her run through, then she'll do her abyssal detonation. So we get back in here, and then we're just trying to phase her as quick as possible. So we're all running away from her run through, so we don't have to basically die. She will kill you even on a fortified week. So I have lost confidence again, so I immediately disengaged out. The healer saw that and immediately dispelled me. So then the detonation, I did not have my feign up, so I must have used it to save myself. Make sure and dodge that. About walked right into it. That would have been a bad time. So we're trying to get to Devos to 30%. And on this fight, there is nothing special. You just need to dodge like your life depends on it and just do as much damage as possible. So here we made it to that beautiful 30%. So I'm just trying to cheese as much damage into her as possible here as we are finishing up this key. So here, if you look at our timer, we have a minute 7 or a minute 5. Like we are cutting it close. And honestly, I'm thinking probably at this point, I don't know if we're timing it, but we're going to really try. So here, I'm going to make sure I have Fleshcraft up for this last stand. And then Devos has 18% health, which means we have 47 seconds as of the timer to kill her. So it's just all out. Just do damage. That's all you can do. I have my first sigil coming up here pretty soon. If people die here, it's done. Like we just don't have the damage for it. So we have to make sure and keep yourself alive as much as possible. But we're going to go ahead and get another detonation here, and we're going to finish her off. So thank you guys so much. I really hope you enjoyed this. And for those viewers that are going to get to see this early on my Discord, let me know feedback. Let me know how this was. I'll even watch it with you guys live if you guys would like to do that. But thank you guys for watching. This has been so much fun, and thank you for supporting me here in Shadowlands. It's been an amazing adventure, and I cannot wait to go into Dragonflight with you guys and finish up this expansion here in the next couple months, I guess.
What?
Weeks, months, who knows. But thank you guys for watching.
No.
Best of luck in Mythic Plus, Raid, PvP, RP, whatever you do, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching, guys.
I never needed an exit.